Hi guys, it's me again. I think I have an idea and I have to visually process it. So you guys get to sit there and watch if you want to watch all the way to the end of this. But at the end of the day, this is what do we do post Harmony? And I've been thinking about our business plan and such. I think I've got an idea. So to be clear, Harmony, they're dead to us, right? Um, Moving on. It, so because of it, we need to recalibrate our business model um, without a first big project, which just means simply, okay, well, we'll do a bunch of first small projects. Um, so I think our mission statement stays the same, creating a project-based learning environments, technology tool, yada yada. I think that's what we're still all about. But I wonder if we could stretch our vision a little bit to talk about how we're a community of creatives um, that are passionate and so forth, but that our lab, that's the thing that makes us unique. Our lab helps curriculum developers bring their ideas to life. So it's not just us locking ourselves in a room and writing K-12 for Harmony. It's we will do our own original stuff, but also if somebody, say an Alan Hill, comes up with a geometry idea, we can enable and help somebody like an Alan Hill to make their stuff a reality. So the services we provide would be some consulting. We got to figure out how to charge for that when our first customers are going to be friends. That's going to be weird. But we actually do writing, actual pen to paper type stuff. And maybe down the road we can help with some project management. I know my experience with my Chickenomics book, I could have used a third party, somebody cracking the whip. But then also reputation. I want to talk about that more down the road. But if Liber Labs can start building a strong following and reputation, that's a service we could provide. Like we brand Alan Hill's geometry with the Liber Labs seal of approval or whatever on it. Thing I'm still not completely pumped about is that our customers are still very niche. It's very, the education providers are not swimming in money and begging to spend it on us. But whatever, it is what it is. Especially when families are involved, and we might be able to modularize some of our stuff so that the customer is an individual family. That's different. That's something we couldn't have done with the Harmony stuff. So anyway, it is what it is. So moving on. So I had to step way back, and I got where good things come from. So here's the way I see the world. The idea, it's generated, right? And then something has to happen. You have to invest in that idea to develop it to the point where you can go and implement it. So that's the world in the most simple form. Um, then you start to break it down. How does it really, how do you really build things? Same thing. You got the idea, and then that investment in its development, though, needs to be developed more. And so, honestly, if you look at it, is if somebody came to you off the street with with an idea, first thing you're going to do is evaluate it. So you're going to consult with them, and you're going to maybe help them reorganize it and reframe it or something. Then it goes to a production where you say, yeah, we've evaluated, this is a good thing, it's green lights, we're going, and now let's start typing and videoing and drawing and whatever. But then you got to test it and you got to refine it. Those two actually probably go hand in hand. Then comes time for the actual like finished product publishing piece, and that's going to be different for every project. But then you got to market the thing. You got to tell the world that it's out there. So Katie kind of had a question to me the other day, and I've been asking myself the same thing. Like, why would somebody choose to go to Library Labs? It's more expensive than if they just buckled down and did the Statesman thing, did it by themselves or whatever. So the question, what stops somebody from going at it alone? Nothing. But we're not saying that a person can't do that. But what we are saying is if you are alone, you're alone, right? So if you do it by yourself, then you're doing it by yourself, and we can't help you out because we have other priorities that we're doing. So I took Katie's scripting book as an idea. So here's Katie, lovely and talented. She's got this great idea, but she's also got 50 kids, a needy husband, two dogs, chickens, bees, whatever. She's kind of got churchy stuff going on all the time, so she's busy with other things. She has more than one good idea in her life, right? And because she's normal, she doesn't have one thing going on as far as projects she wants to do. So her time is super constrained. She's also lovely and talented, but not a world-class, illustrator. She doesn't do digital design work. She maybe could, but the timeline of her books are going to take forever. She tries to do her own illustrations because she's got to learn new software and da da da. The other thing Katie doesn't have is a reputation in, I don't know, Wyoming or Colorado or something. She's just not known outside of, the Wasatch Front. And in the Wasatch Front, she's got a great reputation as an author, but maybe not outside that community. And that's something Liber Labs, that's what I say. I think Liber Labs, if we start going viral and we start just becoming kind of a buzz maker, then we're also kind of rainmaking. I know that sounds stupid, but we're also making ourselves as the expert, even though we don't believe in experts. So back to her scripting book. So if you go through this model, I pulled that back up and you throw her stuff through it. So the first thing she's going to do is she's going to approach Liber. And Liber says, wow, this is great. This is going to change the world. Then it goes to the production thing, and Liber can then help her um, with her idea. And by doing that, Katie also doesn't come up with a giant checkbook that says, I don't want to hire a consultant to do it. So Liber just agrees that this is a good idea. I hope this is generating questions and making you nervous. But Liber does this pro bono kind of up front. Get the writing done, get the illustration done, manage the project, push it all the way through, test it if we have to. In this situation, you skip the lab part of it probably. Maybe you would do that before you get too far down production, but it wouldn't be like a formal thing. It doesn't seem because it's a series of scripting books. But anyway, then we could help with the publishing if she wants that, and then we can also go out help with training. Maybe we help organize her Kickstarter campaign and some things like that because we've done it before and she's never done a Kickstarter campaign. So that's the scripting book scenario. So I change it and I go, okay, well, what about somebody, tall, dark, and handsome guy comes up with this ignition project idea, and Liber loves it. Um, Liber then could help refine that idea, but then Liber could also work out something with the Liber Academy. I still call it SDLA because the name's too similar, or Ben Franklin, or somebody. But if Mike Hansen goes up to the Ben Franklin people, they don't know who I am. They're not going to be really excited about testing an untested project. You know what I mean? But if it comes from somebody like an LD Milne or Liber Labs, somebody that they know, maybe they are willing to be our laboratory on that. And then maybe another service on this one, for example, is we've got a website. Maybe Liber offers to help them with their website. And then once it's up and running, Liber then starts pushing it out as something in their catalog, something they endorse and they love and so forth. And again, maybe another Kickstarter type thing. So here's how I saw the fee for services deal. Like here's where the money goes. The originators, say it's Katie, I think should pay some kind of skin in the game fee, something, and they make a proposal, something, $100, whatever it is, I don't know, where they say, yeah, I'm in it, and if I get distracted and bored and walk away, then you guys keep my money. So Liber Labs then invests way more than their retainer fee to get these services out there. And then the originator still kind of owns, like, so Katie still owns her book, but she just has a team now. And then anyway, the project gets done and then it goes out to the world and the first dollars start to come in. So the question is, where do those dollars go? Well, those dollars need to go to Liber Labs to pay back all of the development costs. Because remember, that step up above, Liber Labs has already paid, say, Anelity or whatever to write it. So, Liber Labs has got to get paid back. So the first dollars go to cover those costs. Included in that cost is your originator's retainer fee. So they're not totally sitting out there. They're going to break even pretty quick. But then once all those costs are paid off, then that revenue, future revenue, then becomes profit. And then that profit can go be split up, whatever, 50-50, whatever's in the original agreement. So I know you're asking, that's great, Mike, but how can you pay for Anelity to write up front when you don't have an account with money in it? Good solid point. So I ran into something yesterday about where nonprofits get their money from. And there's basically two kinds of colors of money. There's the grants on one side, the fundraising stuff where it's just give us money because we're good people. Grants, directly asking the dentist, doing crowdfunding special events like we run our own 5K or readathon or whatever. That all comes in on one side. And then the enterprise, that's the work we do kind of stuff. Fee for service is the one I just ran through, but we could also work on some kind of joint venture with Liber Academy or whatever. And then down the road, there's of course investments and then direct sales. So if we create something individually, those sales can also feed the Liber Labs. Um, and of course, I put that thing on the bottom just so you remember that nonprofits totally can make whatever they want to make, and we're supposed to run like a business. The only difference with us being a nonprofit is we have to spend our funds in kind of the education world, you know. We can't just cash out and walk away. And we also can't start getting into the, auto detailing business or something. So anyway, you're loving this idea, I can tell. So here's what we would need to get rolling. You'll probably just want to pause this and look at it closer. This is kind of more punch list stuff for me, but I think two of them were already solid, and the rest were not solid, but we're pretty squishy. We're pretty close. We just need to decide this is the direction we want to go, and then just start putting this out. Oh, this I just had this epiphany yesterday that every time I see a guy off the side of the road now, I just see them as a professional fundraiser. That's what they do for a living. They fund. All right. So think about this though. The scripting books. So if we don't have Harmony anymore, like what are the small projects? Do we have a pipeline? And I think we totally do. We've got the scripting books, and I would suggest that that maybe should be the first one. Get that going since that's what we're all working on. Decide that that's our first one and run down that road. But then you've got all this other stuff. My ignition project is just sitting there collecting dust at this point. If Liber Labs took it on as a project, we could turn that into a quick module that homeschooler would buy for their family, or you know, Ben Franklin might use it in a classroom, something like that. The Chickenomics thing, same idea. The New York guys, I don't want to let them go. I still think I wonder if there's money we can ask for there. I have a yardstick video. Ask me later. It's not something Liber Labs is gonna spend money on. I'll spend my money on it, but call it the Liber Labs initiative. The idea that was very interesting, I can't remember who said it. Maybe it was Grant, told Aneldi that maybe she should use Liber Labs as a platform to get her book written, her next book. That's a cool idea. The Alan Hill, he's very open to doing something with his geometry, and he was kind of nervous to hand it over. But now we could say, no, we have a different model for that. Does Library Academy need new curriculum? What about Ben Franklin? Don't they need something? And then the Chinese weird idea with Lisa Reed, and then the motorcycle maintenance. These are all things that I think we can start making a portfolio out of. And I think we need to start doing something like that. Just so we can, start to show here's the type of work we do. Wouldn't you like to hire us or partner with us? Anyway, that's my thoughts. Maybe we need to have a meeting to discuss this further, but I just know I'm crunched on time all weekend, so, and we can't wait much longer. I need to get a board meeting going. I would like to pitch something like this to the board, but I want to make sure you guys are comfortable first. So let me know what you think, even if you put it in the comments below in the YouTube. I'm going to make this a private YouTube video just for us. So hope all's well. Thanks, guys.